This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
I just said the guy with the beard. That really narrowed it down. Booger Fart 42069.
Sweat King. Woo woo.
We're going to go balls deep into this after I pee. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. I can't believe we left it out of the last episode, Jeff, but thank you for bringing it to my attention. You are really... you missed your calling as a radio show producer. You're fantastic at this.
Yeah.
A federal jury has awarded a Georgia man $2.3 million in his product liability case against the gun maker, Sig Sauer, after he was shot by his own gun without allegedly pulling the trigger. I like how the NHPR is pussing out on saying what the jury said happened, but whatever. Throwing in the old allegedly. So the case appears to mark the first time the New Hampshire-based firearms manufacturer has been found liable for a misfiring P320 pistol, a gun that has been at the center of dozens of other lawsuits, claiming it has a design flaw that leaves it susceptible to unintentional firing. Fucking duh. In the case, Robert Lang, who is described in court records as a lifelong gun enthusiast with hundreds of hours behind the trigger, sued Sig Sauer after he was shot in the thigh by his own P320 in December 2018 while removing the gun from the holster. Before he could even lift the gun off of his belt, the weapon discharged. According to his complaint, the boom of the weapon had his wife and son screaming. Jury found Sig Sauer was negligent for Lang's injuries due to the design of the weapon, including the lack of a trigger safety. So, and it is one of the most popular pistols sold in the country. There's a reason why the Shields in my town has it right out in front, because they sell more of them than any of the rest. Like, a guy who works there told me that. They sell more SIGs than anything.
Yeah, because, well, SIGs in general, I mean, the P365 has basically dominated that market, but everyone loves to buy the military pistol. How many M9s were sold because of, well, it's the Army's gun or Bruce Willis or Mel Gibson?
I mean, a lot, but I like, towards the end of its run, I don't think that many. Like, I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but every gun company gets lawsuits, and it's always like, okay, did the person fuck up or did the company? And I find it interesting that out of all the lawsuits, this is just the first one. You know, we weren't there in the courtroom to see what the argument was, and it looks like they focused on the lack of a trigger safety, like every other pistol maker has some sort of a pistol safety, unless it has a safety. You know, there's that. Yeah. But, which you and I would agree, outside of a single action, they don't really need a safety. Yeah, I find it fascinating that it finally happened. I'm just waiting for an out of battery discharge lawsuit to happen.
Yeah, that won't be, because I mean, we've seen a lot of evidence of that one, and they're still going to claim that it is remanufactured or hand-loaded ammunition.
And that's going to be really tough to prove, because even just proving that the ammo is remanufactured or not remanufactured is really hard. You know, I mean, yeah. I'm sure they could take, okay, let's see, this was Federal American Eagle lot, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's the chemical makeup of burnt powder. What, you know, I mean, I'm sure some forensic tests happen. I actually got to consult an attorney on a case. He just needed someone who knew guns, but I didn't need to be like an expert in powder or, you know, like a nerd, like a scientist, just somebody who is knowledgeable of guns. Like, actually, when he called me, he said, I need a Mona Lisa Vito of pistols. I was like, because if you've ever seen the movie My Cousin Vinny, you know, she's that's what he was looking for. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. Like, I don't know everything, but I know like stuff. I know a lot more than you do. And he's like, yep, that's what I need. So, the ballistics report from the fired bullet that it was a drive-by shooting. That it was the defense attorney is the one who got in touch with me, and when I got the report of what pistol it could be, which I always find it funny, like you watch some TV show and they're like, yeah, it came from a Glock 17. Yeah, or a Beretta 92, or a Ruger P99, or P92, whatever that P...
Or a Walther P38.
Or a Walther P38, or it literally was. Like, literally every 9mm handgun ever made was on this list. Even a bunch that I'd never even heard of. Yeah. I was so amazed that that's what the state lab came back with was. And the other thing, too, that I noticed right away, it was a .38 caliber bullet. And it was amazing to me. The thing that was missing from that report was the weight. The weight of the bullet was nowhere in the report.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would be.
That would be important because it would narrow it down.
To us nerds, that would actually be like if it's a 115 grain, okay, yeah, that is 9mm, but if it's a 158 grain,
you're right.
That's 38 special.
Yeah.
Or if it's
a fired bullet's not going to be the same diameter as the new manufactured bullet.
Right. Because the cone expands a little bit.
Here's what was even more interesting. The bullet was monolithic. It was a Barnes.
Someone used a Barnes in a drive-by?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, they were really cheap at Shield. They were on clearance. And they had a shitload of them from COVID. And that was part of it, too, was like, like there was... it was because like the by the way, this guy pled out, so it's over. But part of the prosecution's argument was that it was a rare bullet to find. Now, in the grand scheme of pistol bullets, yeah, it was rare. I mean, and this guy had that box in there, but it wasn't rare in Sioux Falls because they literally there were. Like, part of my job was to go take pictures of the display at Shields because they weren't selling a lot of that Barnes stuff because it was only 20 rounds and it was like, during COVID and 40 or whatever, $30 for a box of that. And then eventually went on clearance. But, it was, I just found it amazing that the ballistics labs at least in this case, weren't able to give as much detail as I thought they would.
Right. But, because we have that bias from TV, like you said, where
we're conditioned by television.
Right, Gibbs walks. If you're watching NCIS,
I'm rewatching the whole fucking series before it leaves Netflix. I'm such a dork.
Right, where Gibbs walks up to Abby and she's like, it was a Beretta 92 from lot number X22 in 1983.
FS. How do you know it's not a 92G?
Right. Right, and you're
like
just
that bullet isn't telling you if it's got a decocker or full safety.
Right, and you're just like, okay, and so we're conditioned to the second you shoot this, like they know everything, and they're like, no, we know it's a pistol bullet. That's about as far as we go, and we also have to remember they're experts in nerdery, not in firearms, and so they're like, oh hey. This is this, and you're like, that's not a thing, and they're like, okay, well, things we learn.
Can I tell you some more about this case?
Yeah,
thing that
I don't know how you've never talked about this.
I don't either, but if you want to hear the rest of that story, you're gonna have to join the Patreon. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow. $3.57 a month. You get an extra episode every week.